Mic check 1 2 1 2. What's good, YouTube? Y'all know what it is, man. It's your boy Tank be chopping, back with another haircut video. Check it out, man. What we're gonna be doing on this cut is we're gonna be trimming the top with some shears, doing a comb over, and we're gonna be doing a stretched mid fade. And I say stretch mid fade because we're gonna make sure that we stretch that thing. You know what I'm saying? And we are gonna be using nothing but detachables. So it is what it is, man. Let's go ahead and jump into this video. As y'all saw me, I did saturate the top of my client's hair, and now I'm going over the top of my client's hair, just getting it all down to the length that he wanted. He wanted me to trim off a good amount. He comes like every 2 to 3 weeks, so I know about how much to take off. He always wants about 1/2 inch to 3/4 of an inch taken off. So that's basically what I'm doing here, is just going over the top a good amount of times, getting it all down to that length that we wanted at. And then we're just gonna cross check it here in a little bit. But as you can see, every little bit of hair that I pull up has a previous section in it, whether it's from the front, whether it's from the hair in front of it or beside it. And that's how I kind of know how much hair to cut off. So even when I make my initial guideline in the front, I'm using that guideline coming back, and I take off that amount each snip that I do, right? And it's not the most fanciest technique for shears, not the nicest one, but it works for me, so that's what I like to do, right? But nonetheless, man, as you can see here, now we're taking our Heinegger detachable serious clipper, and I have my 3 3/4 guard on my clipper, and my 3 3/4 blade on my clipper, and all I'm doing is debulking the sides, getting it all down to that 3 3/4 length. Now I'm gonna be honest, I don't know what guard this equals out to. I just know that it's longer than a 3 1/2 and it's shorter than my 5/8, so it gets the job done, right? So that's what we're doing here with the 3 3/4. And once that is done, I'm gonna take my 5/8 guard, or I'm sorry, my 5/8 blade. I need to stop saying guard. So the 5/8 blade it's technically a 5 if you like measure it, but since it's a detachable blade, it cuts a little shorter. So I did the 5/8 blade to blend into the top. Then I'm going back down to the 3 3/4 blade just to clean up a little bit. And then I'm gonna take my 3 1/2 blade, which is, it's technically it's a 3 1/2, but it cuts like a 2 on, a 2 guard with the lever open, give or take, you know what I'm saying? So you really can't match these up with the guards. You kind of got to know what they do. But nonetheless, man, this is my 3 1/2 blade, and I'm debulking the sides, getting it down to that length before I actually start to fade. All I'm doing is debulking the sides and doing a little bit of down fading just to get me a clean canvas, make it easier for me to blend, right? But now I'm taking my 5/0s on the Heinegger Serious detachable clipper, and what I'm doing here is I'm gonna go ahead and bald out my client, setting in my initial bald guideline. And as you can see, it doesn't look like it's gonna be a mid fade, but like I said, we are gonna stretch this out. So we're getting all that down to that length, and once that is done, I'm taking my shaver, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and get all this down to that shaver length. Now, if you wanna purchase this clipper or this shaver, you can go to fwbarbersupply.com, use my discount code Tank10 on that website, and make sure you save yourself some money. But I've been using these detachable clippers a lot, man, and for what I do, I like how they work, man. But now what we're doing here is I got my OA blade on the clipper, setting in my next section. As you can see, we're coming up about 3/4 of an inch or so. And we're just gonna go over that a good amount of times, make sure we got it all down to that length. Then I'm gonna skip a blade and use my 1A blade. So instead of using my 1 blade, I'm gonna use my 1A blade, set in my next section. Right, so we're skipping a blade, and then we're gonna do the same thing here. Instead of using the 1 1/2 blade, I'm gonna use my 2 blade and really try to blend into that bulk. Now, it's not gonna blend into it perfect because I went a little higher than what I did with my 3 1/2, but it's gonna give me somewhat of an idea of what I need to do, right? So once that is done, I'm taking my 3 3/4 once again, doing some more debulking, making sure that I, lighten this area up before I hit it with the 3 1/2 blade. And it might be hard to follow along, but if you know detachables, you kind of understand what I'm doing. I'm doing the blade skip technique, the skip blade technique, whatever you want to call it. And this is my 3 1/2 blade. And now I'm gonna really start blending into that bulk, and it's gonna start taking out that line a little bit. And I will have to come back in with my 2 blade and use the corners just to clean it up a little more. All right, so once that is done, I'm taking my 2 blade once again, and we're gonna do some down fading, trying to clean this area up, using the corner of my blade and also flicking out, just barely tapping at these darker areas, right? And y'all let me know what y'all think about me using these detachable clippers. I've been using them for a couple videos, just trying to give y'all some different tutorials, right? So y'all let me know if y'all like these or not down in the comments. But now that that is done, I'm gonna use my 1.5 blade, and we're gonna start cleaning up these middle lines. So this is the 1.5 blade that's gonna blend our 1A section into our 2 section. And once again, if I need to go back in detail, I will, but as you can see, I'm just using this blade to kind of blend. And if it still looks kind of dark, I'll just apply a little more pressure to try to clean that up a little more. And then here is my 1 blade. This is the blade between the OA and the 1A section. So there's one blade should clean up that line in between both of these sections. And once that is done, I'm gonna go down to the 3 zeros, and this is gonna not take this out completely, it's just gonna soften this line up. I am gonna have to go on with the 5 zeros and the trimmer once again, because I did do the shaver on the side. But if y'all pay attention, I start flicking and using the corner of my blade a lot, and that's gonna help blend this section out. When you use the corner of your clipper or the corner of your blade, it's gonna make that guard or that blade a little longer than what it typically is, so it's gonna help fade a little more, right? So here I am with my 5 zeros trying to get out this bottom line. And now I'm going back in with my OA, doing some cleanup work, adding some more pressure if needed to blend that out better. The triple zeros right here, doing some more cleanup work. And this is basically what you will be doing with your clipper open, halfway, and then all the way closed. It's basically just doing some lever play. But then we're gonna take that trimmer, go ahead and try to knock out that bottom line. And once that is done, I'm gonna take my wall high vis and I'm gonna go ahead and punch in my man's edge up. We're gonna make sure we give him a nice lineup. Now, if you do wanna purchase this, you can get this at fwbarbersupply.com, discount code TANK10, or you can go to wallpro.com and use my discount code TANK15 on that website. But nonetheless, man, as you can see, we lining up my man, combing the hair up, that way we don't cut any of that overhang. Obviously he gets a comb over, so if we comb it down and line it up, it's gonna be too short to comb over. So I'm making sure that I comb that up and hit that line up underneath, that way we get a nice sharp line, so when he does comb it over, we have a nice sharp edge up. And once that is done, I'm gonna go ahead and do some more detail work. So I do my same steps, basically, like I do most of the fade, then I go back in, do my lineup, and then come back and do some detail work. And that's basically what I'm doing here. That was the OA blade. Here is the 1A blade, doing some cleanup work in this area here, and then the 1 blade to try to, you know, bring this blend together. And I think this blend is looking pretty good, man. Y'all let me know what y'all think about this blend so far in the comments. And then we're gonna go on to the other side, sped it up a little more, but we are using the 5 zeros to go ahead and bald out my client. Now you can use the 5 zeros or trimmers. I just like using the 5 zeros because it does get it down short pretty quick. It's not as short as a trimmer, so sometimes when you use a shaver, it takes a little longer, but it's about the same, right? Like, it just depends on how you work it, right? But we're gonna continue to do our fade method on this side. The guard, I keep wanting to say guard, the blade skip technique, skip blade, whatever you want to call it. That was an OA open, or not open, but just the OA. Here is the 1A blade setting in my neck section. Then instead of the 1.5, we're gonna use the 2 blade. Make sure we get that section nice and, you know, nice and neat the way we want it. And then we're gonna use the 3 3/4 here to try to blend into that bulk. And once again, guys, y'all can see this fade is really stretched, but that's the way I wanted it to look. I wanted to have a nice stretched blend. And this is how you do stretch blends, guys. You either give yourself more room or make your sections bigger. Well, technically you got to give yourself more room to make your sections bigger, right? But as y'all seen, my first section was really wide, and that's how I really get that stretch blend look. But now we're going back down, cleaning everything up. I believe this is a 3.5 blade. Trying to clean up, you know, the 2 to the 3 3/4 section. And then here is this might be the 2, no, this is the 1.5 blade. So this is the 1.5 blade right here. Sometimes it's hard to tell on these blades, man. Luckily, I know what steps I do. Like, I kind of do the same steps on every cut, so I kind of know what it is. That might have been the 2, honestly. No, yeah, that was the 1.5. Yeah, because here's my 1 blade now. So yeah, so here is the 1 blade. Now cleaning up that section. Then we're going to use the 000 blade. Start attacking that bottom line, really softening it up, making it easier for the blend to come together when I use my 5 zeros. Once again, using that corner blending technique that helps blend that into the longer blades, or guards if you like to use guards. It does the same thing. And then here is the 5 zeros to try to clean up that bottom line. And then we're gonna do some small detail work going in with the OA, applying more pressure if needed. Once again, this is like the lever open, halfway enclosed. And then here is the 1A section, or the 1A blade, once again, doing some more cleanup. Then we're gonna hit that bottom line with the trimmer. Really try to bring that blend together. And then we're gonna move on to lining them up. And we're just trying to make sure that this side matches the opposite side. Now, I don't know if y'all paid attention, but his other C cup was a little higher. It looked a little higher. So you have to make sure that you match those up, you know, check how it looks in front. And if you can kind of see it right here, it is a little lower on this side, but I did go back and clean that up when I actually noticed it. So make sure that y'all looking at both sides of the haircut, guys, especially if you do your haircuts like this, like one side at a time. You want to make sure that both sides are looking, you know, like a mirror image. So when you do the edge up, go back and check it out, and then you might have to go back in and possibly, you know, push a hairline back, but it's a controlled pushback, and you're doing it to make sure that it matches on both sides. So sometimes that pushback is needed. But now we're just doing some detail work. Here is the 1 blade and then the OA blade. If you use detachable blades, man, let me know down in the comments. And if you don't, it can speed up your process if you know what you're doing. It may take a little while to get used to them, but I like using them, man. Typically, this is what I've been using for the past, ever since I got these clippers. I've been using them a lot, and I like the way my haircuts come out with detachable blades, man. Look at that blend, bro. That thing's blurry. Like, I don't know, man, but we got the blend done. Now we're gonna add some water to my client's hair so we can go ahead and add some hair product. And I'm just using some regular gel. I don't even know what gel this was, I'm gonna be honest with y'all. It may have been the Faded Culture one, may have been the Statement Grooming Gel. I'm not 100% sure, but we got my man's hair saturated, and we put some hair product. Now we're just gonna comb it over before I add some enhancements and use the razor. Oh, and I'm gonna use a little bit of blending shear over a comb just to make sure that the blend comes together, ties into the shorter length on the side, and make sure that the hair combs over and lays nicely. So that's what we're doing with our blending shears here, guys. Now we're gonna go ahead and add some enhancements. This is my favorite barber enhancement, gun. Also, you can purchase this at fwbarbersupply.com. Once again, discount code TANK10 on that website. But these are personally my favorite enhancements, man. They last my clients, and I think they look good. So check it out, man. We're hitting them up with them enhancements, making sure that this haircut really pops. And then once this is done, we're gonna go ahead and finish the haircut off by using the razor. Remember, guys, make sure you stretch that skin. Lay that razor flat, that way you lessen the chance of nicking your client. I think that haircut looks on point, man. It's a nice stretch blend, just the way I wanted it, just the way he likes it. But check it out, man. This is the finished product. Y'all let me know what y'all think about this haircut in the comment section. If y'all like this video, please make sure to smash that like button. Also, if you're new to my channel, make sure to subscribe one time for your boy. Remember, guys, if you're in the Houston, Texas area and want a haircut from your boy, you can go to my website, tankbechopping.com. You can book there. But with that being said, man, I appreciate y'all for watching YouTube. Until next time, let's go.